Secret live feed. I'm here with Eric today. We're going to tell you about what's going on at Hot Shot Secret headquarters here in Mount Gilead, Ohio. And we're going to talk about the TBN booster later on. But first, we're going to start with this week's activities, and Eric's going to bring us up to date.
Yeah, I'm trying to pull up the app. So if you guys ask questions, we're ready to go.
Yes, please post your questions. It's a lot more exciting when we can answer the questions live, and we do give free gifts away at the end of the live cast. We'll send you a free gift if you send us a question.
Yeah, questions, comments.
So what's going on this week, Eric?
Well, big weekend last weekend, but this upcoming weekend actually starting today and tomorrow, the NHRDA World Finals in Ennis, Texas. We got Kyle and TJ's out there, so if you happen to be at the event or near Ennis, Texas, swing by, check out the booth. We got clearance on all products.
Talking about Big Country?
Big Country, TJ. Yeah, Big Country. If you scroll down, check out a video he just was on Facebook. He's pumped. He's excited to be there. So you can see Big Country, maybe get his autograph. So, like I said, today and tomorrow, the World Finals, so the big finale. One reason why it's particularly exciting for us anyways, because we sponsor the Firepunk Diesel team, and they'll be there, of course, but just recently they broke 2 records. So it's going to be a lot of hype around them going down the track this weekend. First is the Save the Racks S10 truck that they got. Just recently they broke 200 miles an hour with that truck. So that was a new record. So hopefully they can repeat and do it again this weekend. The other big news record that they broke was this past weekend at the ODSS Rudy's Fall Jam in North Carolina. Levon's Pro Street truck broke a new record. They went under 5 seconds. That was the first time. So they went 4.97, 151 miles an hour. So that was exciting.
When you say broke a record, is that a world record?
I believe so. Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's pretty exciting.
Of course, running our oil additive. So it's exciting for us, exciting for them. They're real emotional.
So they're running our engine oil,
engine
fuel
oil,
additive, transmission fluid,
gear oil. Yeah, the whole shebang.
Excellent.
If you want to read about that, go to dieselarmy.com. They got a whole story written up on it.
What happened last weekend? You said, was last weekend ODSS?
That was the ODSS event. So
did we break any records there?
Firepunk, yeah, that was the under 5 seconds.
Excellent.
Yeah, so that was exciting. That was the ODSS finale. So now we got this weekend. This is the second series that's going to be ending.
So anybody in Texas, stop by Ennis, Texas.
Yep.
And say hello to Big Country and Kyle and get a good deal on some Hot Shot Secret products.
Yes.
Will Levon be there and Amalee signing autographs?
Yeah, they'll be there. Of course, the entire Firepunk team is going to be there. Amalee's going to be there, which brings me to my next point, Save the Racks campaign. I'm sure you've heard us talk about it. All season long, we've been donating money based on T-shirt sales. When Amalee does passes down the track, when she wins or comes in second, she gets a donation from us. That everything goes to Breast Cancer Research Foundation. So this is the final week of that. So hopefully she takes home some trophies and is a big winner.
Are we giving her a check this weekend, or is that coming later?
This weekend, yeah. So the finals are actually going to be broadcast on Diesel TV from NHRDA. So check it out. You'll see Kyle should have a giant check he'll be giving away. I'm not sure what the total is now. It's got to be over $4,500. So it's
did we raise $1,000 this week so that TJ has to shave off his beard?
I don't think so, but we can tell him that we did.
We thought it would be great.
Dark.
Well, how much time have we got? Maybe I'll make a donation. So we thought it would be fun if Amalee would shave his beard in the back of the truck. So that'd be
good. Yeah,
that would be really exciting. TJ was squirming when we brought that up last week. He really does not want to shave off his beard.
Maybe we can still talk him into it.
Maybe I'll do it just for fun.
Yeah.
So we also have our VIP winners there.
Yeah, Steve and Faye, couple from Pennsylvania. They were the big winners. They flew out this morning, arrived in Texas 11:30, I believe it was. Kyle was there to meet him at the airport. Went from there to hotel, getting ready to head to the track because, like I said, everything starts about 6 p.m. So they'll be there. We got a lot of cool stuff, surprises in store for them, but we can't don't want to mention it in case they happen to watch. So we'll fill you in next week and let you know about that.
Hopefully they'll have some video, and probably next week Kyle should do the feed just to explain how all this went. So we still have 4 hours before the race starts.
Yeah, well, they're Central Time, so
yeah, it's 6 o'clock. So we still have 4 hours. So there's still time to go to the race if you want to go. Have a good time. See all the exciting things going on. So the next thing up on the schedule is we're going to be at SEMA in Apex, October 30th through November 1st. If you happen to be there, we're in booth 40009. We're normally right near the new product showcase, and you can learn about new products. I'll be there. We'll have a couple other people, but that's where we're going to unveil a few new products. We'll be there to give you an in-depth explanation about them. I know a lot of our viewers do go to SEMA, so this would be a good chance to meet us, talk to us. If you want to know anything about the product, how we developed it, how we used it, how we tested it, that's a good time to do it. Also, just post a question right now. Casey's back there behind the camera, keeping track of that for us. Eric has his phone on. He's watching any questions that happen to come up, so feel free to ask. We're completely transparent. We love talking about the product, the development of it, even the testing. It's an exciting story.
And that's one thing at Apex this year we're doing different. So we're going to have, of course, Hot Shot Secret side, where we'll be launching new products, talking about that. But we're also going to be promoting our lubrication specialties side and kind of talking about what we do there and how we help other folks and things like that. So it's not only can you learn about Hot Shots, but also LSI at the same time.
LSI is actually the main company. That's where we do a lot of our industrial commercial work. Sometimes some of these products that you see on the shelf were originally developed for industrial commercial users in bigger places like maybe a offshore drilling rig. And once we find a solution there and we see where we're affecting change, we'll bring it in and put it in a bottle and put it on the shelf at the full strength. So we don't water it down to try to make more money on it or anything like that. We'll actually put it together the same strength that we would sell it to somebody running a 12-cylinder Cat engine, that type of thing. So again, feel free to ask any questions. We have a web special going on right now. We're still giving away one free bottle of diesel winter anti-gel, otherwise known as DWAG.
DWAG, yeah.
And so those are, if you order any Stiction Eliminator, you want to run, we'll give you a free bottle of that. If you get 2 bottles of Stiction Eliminator, we'll throw in 2 bottles of the diesel winter anti-gel, DWAG. So feel free to take advantage of that on the web. And anything else going on this week as far as news goes?
Yeah, this week, and we actually had a couple people already chime in. Local folks near us here in Mount Gilead, Ohio. Just down the road in Mount Vernon, Ohio, we're going to be back at Pacemakers Dragway for Cash Days. So if you happen to be around, swing by. We'll have a booth set up, free product. So come by and check it out.
Free product. We have giveaways. It's a great time. It's a lot of fun, these local races. I think that's where a lot of the action happens on a local track. These big national events are exciting and fun, but there's one of those for hundreds, maybe thousands of local events. That's where all the fun things happen. And
that's why part of the reason we've been doing all season long a support your local track campaign. So we're doing our part. Hopefully you are too.
Okay. What's next up?
Yeah, I want to make a quick note. We have got a new dealer. We have a few, but we got a new dealer in particular that we're awfully excited about. Not going to mention them today, though, because we're going to put out some more promo stuff, and we're going to wait until that drops and goes live. And once that does, we'll kind of share the big news there. But I just want to make a quick note about that little teaser.
And one of the things that we wanted you to know about, on our website, we have a button for Diagnose Your Diesel. This is a program that we spent, I think it was close to 2 years developing. And we brought in a certified diesel mechanic, and we subscribed to a lot of the subscriptions that the mechanics would. And the idea behind it was trying to sort out problems with the diesel engine are really hard. Trying to figure out which products you need is really difficult. I understand all about additives, and it's still difficult to separate them on the shelf. We wanted to put together a tool that would make it easy for you. So on the Diagnose Your Diesel tool, you could put in the kind of truck you have. You have a semi-truck or a pickup truck. I have a pickup truck. You have a Cummins, a Ford, so you can put in a Cummins. And then you can go through and give it the symptoms you have. You're blowing white smoke, you're blowing black smoke. Okay, well, does it happen when it's cold or when it's warm? And it walks you through a process where it will give you the 3 most likely things that are wrong. So the idea was just to give you a tool to be able to diagnose your diesel without going to a mechanic. Not that we're against mechanics, but most people would rather figure it out themselves and fix it for less money. And what we have found with our product line, since they are problem specific, is that a large percentage, I never actually figured out what percentage, but there is a large percentage of problems that we can fix with good additives or good chemistry. Sometimes it doesn't, there's no broken metal or broken parts inside the engine. There could be stiction buildup. That's one of the big things we run across. There could be buildup inside the fuel system or even in the transmission. So we developed our products to fix those problems, and then we give a money back guarantee if it doesn't. And we don't give you a hard time about the money back guarantee. And the reason is, if you've tried our product and it didn't fix it, chances are 90%, maybe 95% that you are going to end up paying somebody to fix your truck, or you're going to be fixing it yourself. So we would rather you have that money back so that you can go and pay to have the product fixed, or the whatever's wrong with your truck fixed. So it's originally, when we started doing this, we used to say, try this product before you turn a wrench. Are we live?
I think so. Yeah.
We just lost our feed. I'm pretty sure it was Russian hackers. They know what our formulas can do, and they're nervous. So if we lose it again, then we know for sure what's going on. Beware of the Russian hackers. Okay. This week also at LSI, we had our congressman from this area stop by to tour our plant and talk to some of the local business owners. Troy Balderson, he's running for our district in the Congress. It was an exciting day. I mean, having a congressman come and talk to you, and turns out that he's a gearhead, and he loves racing and he loves diesel, and said, you know, back in the day there was hardly any products available for diesel engines. Everything was for gas. So when he's seen the products that we had, he was quite excited about it. So it was a fun day.
Yeah, absolutely.
A couple of new products that we're launching soon that you can read on our website about is our gun oil. We've been working on this for a couple of years. It's really exciting. We talked about that a little bit last year. Last week, I'm sorry. We also have a diesel winter rescue product. And this is, last week we talked about the DWAG product. Sometimes if you haven't put an additive in and the product does gel up, if your diesel fuel gels up, you need a product to unthaw that. And that's what this product is designed to do. We also have a gasoline additive coming out. Those of you that follow us and follow the Powered by Science that we're working on know that we sent out 1,000 samples.
We for the gun oil we picked.
I'm talking about the gas additive.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. I think so. Yeah, about 1,000.
So what we did is we sent out 4 different formulas, and we wanted to compare them to see which ones move the bar the most. Now we still do dynos, and we do testing, and we do mile per gallon type things, but we wanted to see what's the real world application of this. And what we did, we sent them out with different colored bottles. But the fun thing is, or the interesting thing, because we did want to be powered by science, we also sent out a placebo. So one of those samples that went out to 1/4 of the people wasn't any additive. It had no additive in it.
Right.
Now the interesting thing was we had about a 3% increase in miles per gallon with the placebo. So that just lets you know that maybe when you do have a product in there, you're in tune to what's happening, and maybe you're driving a little bit slower or you're not braking as fast. But even after we took the placebo effect out, we were still able to get an 8% gain on the best additive. So it's a really good way to kind of test things and figure out what's going on. Also, what's new is a transmission fluid for racing and severe duty applications. You know, both of those applications are very similar when it comes to a transmission, because if you're racing, you're overheating, your extreme pressure is extreme, but it's the same thing if you're hauling something.
Oh yeah.
You know, especially if you've got, you know, a Ford Ranger and you're pulling a 5,000-pound trailer. So you're putting it past maybe what the fluid can do without something special like what we have. And then we have a new gear oil coming out. And again, it's for racing and severe duty applications. So you'll hear more on those later. If there's some product out there that you're wondering about, how does this compare with that on any of our product line, post those on here, because we love feedback. That's how we work on the next generation of products. That's how we work on trying to figure out what call outs we should have. And it really gives us a lot of fodder to figure out what to do next. So please, now, how does this compare with this product? How does it compare with that? It gives us a lot to work off of.
Yeah, just tests in general. If you have an idea of some kind of a test you'd like us to run, you know, share it with us. We'll see if we can make it happen. today we're going to be talking
I'm
about
mad because we called them out. Now they're after us, man. So we're talking about transmission fluid
Yeah.
in a lift truck. The two things you're going to see is the pump is going to wear out. Well, three things. The pump will wear out slower because we will reduce the wear by 43%. The second thing is the temperature will be reduced about 15 degrees within 20 minutes. It's the strangest thing, and we're not 100% sure why it happens. It's not just reduced friction, but also there's something else happening with the nanocarbon in there that diffuses the heat better. So we're still trying to study that, but we have seen a consistent 15-degree drop on hydraulic applications. So that's exciting. It's a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
You should also have a little bit faster reaction time when you're using the hydraulics, and you should have a little bit more power. We're quantifying those things now. We don't have a lot of test data, but we do know that the hydraulic power increases with the FR3.
Mm-hmm.
So we're hoping to build on that in the near future. If you have a follow-up question on that, just let me know and we'll be glad to answer it.
Yeah, hopefully everybody's following us from video to video. We'll try to be quick because we don't want to flood your timeline with too many videos. But Tom had a question. He's just curious about the gas additive, when that may be coming out for sale. Hopefully, Tom, within the next
30 days.
Yeah, next 30 days, we'll have it ready to go.
We're doing labels and tech data sheets and wrapping things up now with our crack marketing department, which Casey's a part of now.
Yeah.
So they're all over it. But now we're going to talk about a little bit about TBN.
We're going to try to.
Okay. TBN booster is a really bad name. Everybody keeps telling me that, but that's all we got.
Yeah, what's TBN?
Total base number. In diesel, well, all oils, there's a amount of detergent that's in there, and that is the base number. When you start to build up acids, that's the acid number. So it's TBN versus TAN. And basically what happens is you start off with a base number up here and your acid number down here. And as you start to run that engine, your acid starts to build up and your base number starts to come down. When they even out, that's when you usually change the oil. And that's what oils are designed to do, to neutralize that acid. Could be nitric acid, could be sulfuric acid. Those things are built up from byproducts from the fuel and the air. So it's a very common thing. Every engine has it. It doesn't happen as much in a gas engine because gas is a much cleaner burning process. Now, diesels do have a lot of acid in them. If you leave that acid unchecked, what will happen is it will start to eat up the inside of the engine. Not eat a hole through it, but it just starts to prematurely wear out your engine. So normally, older oils used to be about a 12 TBN, and by the time they got down to a 6, you were changing it. Today's oils, they've lowered those down to 6 and 7. And the reason is they've taken the sulfur out of the fuel, so they don't think they need as much acid protection. We built the TBN booster because we seen a need originally when I built this product. It was a need for people that were running extended drain intervals. We had a clientele here at Lubrication Specialties of people that were running bypass filters, and they were leaving the oil in there for 20, 30, 40, 50,000 miles, sometimes up to 100,000 miles. So in essence, what they were doing was keeping the oil clean, but then the acid would start to build up because your detergent would start to, go away. If you can imagine having a sink full of water and you put Dawn dish soap, that's a detergent. So you have those bubbles, and then you do a load of dishes, and there's half as many bubbles. And you do a second load, there's no bubbles. So at that point, you need to either put some more Dawn dish soap in there or drain it and start over. Well, that's kind of what happens with your engine oil. Even if it's in good shape, maybe the viscosity is okay, it's not getting thin and runny, or maybe you've kept it clean, but your acid number is starting to climb up and you're starting to lose your detergents. We built this product for that. It also has a dual purpose, and that is people that buy engine oil today and you want more detergent. So you bought, say, a Shell Rotella with a 6 TBN, and you're like, boy, I got a 1999 truck and I want a 10 TBN, because I want this oil to be like it was 10 years ago. Using the recommended treatment rate, you can get it right back to where it was. Now, we didn't stop there with just a detergent. We also added a CK4 additive package. Now, the reason we did that, CK4 is the additive package that we use to build our regular diesel engine oil, but it also has viscosity improvers in it and all the other additives that you need. So we wanted to give a little bit of that. And then the other product we use in there is our FR3. So with the FR3, we're able to reduce the wear by 43%, increase your miles per gallon, increase your horsepower, and bring all those things up to snuff. So between those three areas, we're able to basically take any oil and make it a premium oil. So the two reasons you would want to use this is I want a better oil and I don't trust what I'm buying and I want to upgrade it. This is a good, safe way to upgrade it in a big way. Now the FR3 will upgrade it, but it's not going to give you detergent.
Right.
It's going to make it slippery and reduce wear, give you more horsepower, all that kind of stuff. This is actually going to increase the amount of detergents in there. It's going to make the oil last longer. The other place that you'd want to use this is, you know, I know my oil needs change this week, but I'm not going to do it. So I'm going to dump something in there to fortify it. This is what you want to use. If you use a regular oil fortifier off the shelf, there's no active ingredients in it. It's more or less basically a gear oil. So what you're doing is you're thickening up the oil, but you're not giving it the detergents that it needs to keep the inside of the engine clean. This will do both of those. It will help keep the oil thick, but it will also give you the detergents you need and the friction modifiers with the FR3. So it's a really robust package. It's the best product that I could possibly think of. We spent a lot of time making this the best it could possibly be. This is available at Tractor Supply and on our website. Those are the only two places you can buy TBN Booster. And the people that use it absolutely love it. It's also the only product you can use that will show up on an oil analysis. Now, I don't know how many people do oil analysis, but if you do them and you wanted to, just to give you a hypothetical, let's say you tested your oil and they said, this is all the wear, this is the metals, this is how much wear you've got. And then you dump like Lucas oil stabilizer in there. And then you send in a second oil test. It will be exactly the same as the first one. You will see no difference. If you treat it with TBN Booster, what you're going to see inside that second oil test, you're going to see your calcium go up, your phosphorus, your zinc. You're going to see the viscosity is going to be brought back into check. So what happens on the viscosity with engine oils? We got enough time, so I'm just give you a real quick idea on what happens with viscosity. When the oil starts to get soot, and that's anybody that's got a diesel engine knows it's all black and nasty after just 1,000 miles.
Right away.
Yeah, that's the soot starting to build up. As the soot builds up in the engine oil, it gets thicker. So if you see the oil starting to thicken up, that means you're getting soot and you need more detergent. That's where we come into play. If you see it starting to thin out, that means you're getting fuel dilution. So what will happen when you put this in is it will bring it back into check either way. So let's say you did get a little bit of fuel that blew past your rings. The VI improver will bring that back up a point or two, depending on where we're at. In the same way, if you're starting to see the soot build up, it will counteract that and bring it back into check. So it's a very well-engineered product to solve a problem. And that problem is that you need to run your oil longer than you would prefer, or you just want a really robust oil fortifier. You know, I really want something good to add to my oil. I know FR3 is good. That gives me, you know, a lot of good lubricating properties. But what if I just want to build up everything across the board? I want viscosity improved. I want to build up my zinc. I want to build up the FR3 and everything, the detergents, the whole 9 yards. Well, this is it. It's a complete package so that you can feel safe driving that truck.
And maybe, you know, you're on the road and you're in a pinch and you had to top off with some oil or maybe do an oil change and you weren't able to find the oil that you're used to, you know, a high quality oil. You had to settle for something a little bit less. Well, if you're in a pinch, swing by a Tractor Supply, pick up a bottle, and this will, just like Chris said, it's going to put you back up where you need to be.
Yeah, that's a good point. Diesel engines burn oil a lot more than a gas engine does. So a lot of times drivers will top off every 1,000 miles, 5,000 miles, whatever the interval is, depending on how old it is. Topping off with a TBN booster is going to make that oil better than it was. Right. Topping off with a quart of Shell Rotella is going to basically just maintain it. So you're not really improving the oil that much. You're just filling the capacity. This is a much better way to go. And you should see an increase in fuel economy. We didn't really test it out that way to prove all those points out, but it was made to fortify the oil. So you are going to see a much more robust oil after you're done versus before, and a lot more protection. And I guess that's probably another difference between the FR3 and the TBN booster is, even though you're getting protection with the FR3 as far as wear, this is going to give you protection as far as acid and wear. Right. So it's a step up, and again, you're going to get a lot of good claims from it. Now, we also sell this product to a lot of over-the-road truck drivers, and that's where we did a lot of our testing. And they do oil analysis consistently because, you know, they've got $100,000 wrapped up in this. For an over-the-road truck driver, this is a small business. You know, I'm going to invest $100,000 in a truck, and it's going to make me X amount of dollars per year. Yeah. So they watch those things like a hawk, and they're looking for really good products to keep them on the road. So when you need that level of protection, this is where you want to put your trust in the TBN booster.
And we got a question about TBN from Tom. Tom says, can TBN booster be used for both gas and diesel oil? Is there any benefit to using it for a car that doesn't get driven much? He says, I have a car that I don't drive much, and I heard that acid is the enemy to engines that don't get used often.
Yeah, that's a great question. This is why people don't realize that once you start the acid action by running the combustion. So if you took your car out, changed the oil, and drove it for 500 miles, you started to build up acid, and then you put it in the garage for a year. What's going to happen is that acid is going to grow because it's eating hydrocarbons and it's creating more acidic reactions inside there. So the TBN booster will neutralize that. And if you were in an imaginary world, a hypothetical world, if you were to take two cars, run them for 500 miles, one had TBN booster, one didn't, and put them both into a barn and then went back and checked the oil a year later, one would have a higher acid number and the TBN should be completely neutral. It should completely neutralize it. And for a car, you're only looking at like an ounce of product. So
yeah, not much.
It's extremely, extremely potent. I mean, the treat rates are high because we were targeting like a agricultural application and an over-the-road trucker. So when you apply this to a car, yes, it does just take a little bit, and you will see the benefits from it. The other area is adding that extra detergent to your gasoline oil. You're going to clean your engine out a lot better. Stiction eliminator would be, the best way to do that, but that's more of a one-time clean. But if you just want to keep it clean, the TBN booster is going to do that because you're neutralizing the acids.
And before we get kicked off, Greg is back with us, so he must have missed your answer from before. He's asking about his Genie boom lift, about using ATF fluid. So if you could real quick just let him know the benefits of using FR3 in that system.
Lower temperature, 15 degrees lower, more power, quicker reaction time. You should not double the power, but you're going to see, I'm guessing somewhere between a 5 and 10% increase.
It'll be significant. Capacity.
Yeah, you could tell.
Yeah.
I mean, when we did the test, we could tell a difference. Before we had it and after we had the FR3 in. The lower temperature and lower wear on your pump. Your hydraulic pump is going to wear out much in half the time. I mean, hydraulic pumps don't wear out that quickly anyway. So I don't know that you'll ever notice that in your lifetime, but you should notice. I'll tell you another place you might notice is sometimes they whine when you're really pushing the hydraulic pump. They make like a screeching noise. We've noticed that go away when we put the FR3 in. And I think what we're doing is we're pulling some of the additives and things off the sides and involving more of the oil. I'm trying to think of a way to say this without a whiteboard. I'm like crippled without a whiteboard. In essence, if you can imagine like a creek and you got all these little crevices and things along the side, and you can see probably like 80% of the water going down the creek at say 10 miles per hour. But then on the side, you see these little eddies where the water's kind of scooting along and it gets stuck on these little edges. What the FR3 does with the nanocarbon is it lines all those up with ball bearings. So it pushes all that water or all that hydraulic fluid into the center. Mm-hmm. So instead of using 80% of your hydraulic capacity, you're using 95%. And that's where we get the increased boost and a lower temperature. And the reason we think this is the temperature drop is immediate, like within 15 minutes. So we don't think that's a frictional drop. It has to be that we're pulling more additives and more oil into play. And that's a common hydraulic principle. So we're pretty sure that that's the case. It happens on transmissions also. Mm-hmm. So hopefully that answers your question. Any other questions there, Eric?
Yeah, Tom had a follow-up question. He says, kind of the same thing. Can you use FR3 in a hydraulic system that uses ATF? One of his cars uses ATF in the power steering. Can that be used in there, or should transmission stiction eliminator be used?
Transmission stiction eliminator has been tested and proven to be completely safe in all automatic transmissions. FR3 has been tested this much and proven safe in automatic transmission. So we did a couple tests with it and we seen an increase in horsepower, but we haven't done the extensive testing just to give it a free rein. So they're doing a little bit different function, but we think it's safe. We do think there's some benefits. Power steering pumps, on the other hand, it is a win-win. And probably next week, we're going to try and do a demonstration for you. We had a power steering pump that was whining you know, like when you turn the steering pump off, you turn your steering wheel all the way over, and it starts making that screeching noise. Well, it was doing that when the tires were going straight. It was a Chrysler Sebring. So we popped the hood, took the lid off, and you know, inside there's just a little bit of space where there's some room left in the power steering. We literally put in 2 tablespoons of FR3. I mean, literally just put a cap, because that's all the room there was. By the time I put the cap back on and pulled the prop off to lower the hood, the screeching had gone away. I mean, it was completely silent. I was just like, wow, that's a massive difference. So if you have, it's great for power steering pumps. The other place that you're going to need it, where it's actually essential, is if you put bigger tires on your truck and you did not upgrade the power steering pump. So if you think about this, the hydraulics and everything in that power steering pump were made to move, say, an 18-inch tire, and you put a 25-inch tire on because it looks cool, and you jack the truck up, or 34-inch tire, whatever they come. You're giving that power steering pump twice as much workload now, and it wasn't designed to do that. Adding the FR3 will make a huge difference. I had Willie from Truck U, or from Two Guys Garage, when I went down to Tampa for a shoot, and he was talking. I mean, he was unhinged on how excited he was. He said, we had a truck in here for one of the shows, and it had great big tires on. I don't remember the size, but he said it was literally a hand over hand thing to turn it.
Yeah. And
he says, we're pulling it in for the shoot. And he goes, and I'm going like this. And somebody said, why don't you try some of this FR3 in there? He says, I put a shot glass worth of FR3 in there. And he says, I can move that thing with 2 fingers. I could not believe the difference. So we're going to try and do some demonstrations like that on the upcoming videos, just to show you what we're talking about. We're not exaggerating. Try it and see.
Yeah, do it yourself. If you have some issues like that, try it out. Take a video, send it to us. We'll share it. We'll post it for you.
So, oh, yeah, absolutely. And you can get FR3 at Tractor Supply also, and online.
Myers
stores has FR3. Anybody else? AutoZone? I'm not sure. O'Reilly's, yes, O'Reilly's. Yeah. So O'Reilly's, Tractor Supply, and Myers are the ones that carry it.
Take 4.
We are going to sign off and just let everybody, because we're having technical difficulties. For some reason, we keep losing our Facebook feed. And what we're going to do is send out some free product to
we got a couple questions here, but one final question we had from Joe before we get kicked off. Hopefully he jumps over and watches this. Best oil recommendation for an older Ford?
Gas for diesel?
I'm not sure if he said.
Besides our products?
Well, I think that's the easy question, right? Or the easy answer.
I mean, I would use the Blue Diamond. Oil's always been my favorite, just because it's a long-lasting oil. You could leave it in there for a good long time, especially if you use even an upgraded filter and just do an oil test. You can easily get 2 or 3 times the oil change interval. That's not hard to do at all.
Yeah, diesel.
So the next 2 that I would go if it wasn't a Hot Shot Secret product, and those are, I know they're expensive, but they're really difficult to blend, and they are high-end products. They're the best of the best.
Yep.
But if I was going to go to the shelf myself and buy a product, I would probably look at the Dello 1300 or the Chevron. I'm sorry, the Delvac 1300 or the Dello product. When I've tested those, doing a lot of oil analysis, it seems like they come out pretty good. As far as a conventional oil, we call those conventional oils. What we have is a custom product. Yeah. So when I look at conventional oils, they've consistently ranked high, the Delvac and the Dello.
All right, well, hopefully everybody jumped around with us. Sorry about that.
We'll make sure next week we've got this solved.
Yeah.
If it's our fault. If not, then I'll get on the phone with Facebook and see what we can do.
Or the FBI, somebody, who knows.
Yeah, could be.
But stay tuned, follow the page. We'll have live content coming from NHRDA World Finals in Texas. A bunch of good stuff coming up. So
Kyle and TJ are going to be posting videos all weekend.
Yeah.
And it looks like they're going to have some rain tomorrow. So they'll probably be delaying the race and putting videos on 2 in the morning. So stay tuned.
And I'll put
It'll be good.
Put a reward out, say $100 for anybody that can track TJ down with a pair of clippers, videotape it, shave his beard. We'll see.
Yeah, I'd like to see that.
That'd be fun, right?
That's worth $100. I'll double that. We'll go 200. If you can tackle TJ and shave his beard,
yeah,
we'll throw $200 out there.
Good luck.
All
Stay tuned. Watch everything from the race, and we'll see you next week.
Okay. Have a great weekend, everybody.